Welcome to the CCS Season 7 National Championship game presented by the Sideline Sports Network. I'm the league's host, Nation RL, joined by Wolfie Too Hot as the commissioner. It's my honor to welcome everybody to the National Championship game alongside my co-host Wolfie. And it's been quite the day, Wolfie. A couple 3-hour long broadcasts from Friday and now Saturday and now today, which two teams remaining in a field of 64. It's no other than number 1 Akron and number 2 Ball State. Those two teams make history as the first two teams ever to appear in the national title game from the same conference in CCS's tournament era since Season 4. And now Akron are on the doorstep of a 4th straight national title. Can they defend it one more time?
No, they should be able to. This is one of those games, especially a team who they're very familiar with. This is basically an all-MAC final for us right now, and it's where you're looking at this game at just saying, all right, you guys know how each other play. You saw each other throughout the regular season. Now you see yourself with the national champions right in front of you. This is it. It's now or never. But for Akron, can Akron Gold get it done? They saw themselves in what we were talking about as maybe the best defensive series we've ever seen them play, or was that just the usual? Is that just their average, their baseline? We'll find out right here in this best of 7. But, Nation, looking at these two teams, how are you feeling? Who are you taking? How long the series?
Well, these two teams met just 3 weeks ago in the MAC Conference Tournament Championship game, and 5 weeks ago in the MAC regular season finale, and Akron won it 3-0 to close the regular season, and then beat them in 6 in the conference tournament championship game. So 2-0 in the series spreads this season against Ball State, 4-0 all time against the Cardinals in CCS. So, history is going to favor Akron here. And, the experience of Akron in this tournament, they're unbeatable. 22 straight wins in the tournament. They're unbeatable. Can Ball State finally do the unthinkable and knock off Akron? The answer is no. Give me Akron in 7.
So you're on Akron in 7. I'm giving Ball State at least one win here, and it's one where I feel Akron's gonna be able to get it done in 5 games. I would love to see Ball State come out and show off their wings and say, hey, it doesn't matter. We know what this team is like. It doesn't matter if they beat us before. It matters how they play here tonight on Championship Sunday. But is going to be the little layover that Akron had. Was it too long of a layover? We do see Ball State coming in here 20 minutes after that last game, or what it seems to be. But you can't deny a team who has been here and got it done time after and time again. Akron, I'm thinking 5 games for themselves. I'm thinking 1 OT that Ball State's going to come out and take that victory. I feel that's how it's going to get done. But do I want to see a shocker tonight? Do I want to see some cinematics? Do I want to see a change in the narrative? Sure, I would love to. Ball State, prove us wrong here in the booth, but you always have to back the current champs.
Well, Akron's had 3 sweeps in this tournament, a Game 6 in the second round at LA Tech, and a Game 7 scare yesterday in the regional final with Maryland. I went to overtime, and Maryland had a wide-open shot that was bricked, and Akron turned it around and scored. So they very well could have lost yesterday, but you can't, it's undeniable that Akron has won 22 in a row. They've never lost a tournament game in CCS history. They completed the Triple Crown in the 2024-25 school year. Now can technically complete a 2025 Triple Crown today, winning spring, summer, and fall. So, again, history's in the line here. Akron already setting history record to their own. There's no team's ever won this league twice outside of Akron until they did it last spring. But now they can go 4 times back-to-back. And I think once this whole dynasty comes to an end for Akron, which eventually probably will, but, when that dynasty ends and they lose, there will never be another team that ever does this again. There just won't be.
Yeah, it's so tough to be able to be that consistent. Not even that good, that consistent. You mentioned that it could have been the difference between 1 goal for Akron, and they got away with it yesterday, or they can be able to get away with it today. They made it very clear in that first game that they played against Florida, saying it was a close call yesterday, but we're not going to have that today. We're going to come out here and put our foot on the gas, cut the brakes, because it's all gas tonight.
Well, yesterday, again, they survived that scare. Today, they opened up with probably one of the greatest defensive series we've ever watched, Wolfie, together. And, Akron allowed no goals through 19 minutes and 51 seconds of regulation play. Not a single goal from Florida until 9 ticks left in Game 4, when that series is already all wrapped up. So, take that with a grain of salt. They just dominated Florida. Ball State, come off a 4-1 to Wichita State. They got put to a pretty good series, but now you've got the 3-time defending national champions in front of you. What's left in this tour here as we're down to the field for Game 1?
You know, I'm looking a lot from Jonathan in this game right now. I feel he played a special game in the last time they saw themselves on the pitch here. But you know, can he come out that same type of consistency? I believe so for the Zips. But this is where I'm looking for Yags, Ultor, and Phoebes. They had a great game the last series, but all the question marks soon going to be exclamation marks. Welcome to your national championship final.
And we played 62 series this weekend, Wolfie, across the last week and a half. There's one more to go to eliminate one more team. These two teams stand at the top of the tower of CCS. One more series remaining to crown a national champion. It's number 1 Akron, number 2 Ball State. History on the line for the Zips.
This is where the Zips, you got to work quickly. We know how aggressive this team can be, and they were the last time they were out. It was a good job keeping that low as Jonathan, we said his name early, out of bed, rise and shine. Akron find themselves with the first goal.
And it's Jonathan getting this offense started early in game 1, and you know, history's favorite Akron. They're 4-0 against Ball State and CCS when they played back in the spring and now this fall. They won both sets both times against Akron. They're 5-0, sorry. They beat them 3 times, and they played them in the Midwest Regional Final back in Season 5. Now a chance in Season 7, the third meeting for these programs. They are 5-0 against Ball State. They've only lost a game to them one time, which was in that conference tournament final. So now Ball State's got a lot of work to do ahead of them to compete with number 1 Akron.
Well, you see how Akron is, especially off this last kickoff. This team going for demos, trying to open up lanes for themselves, and you know, they know that if we can find a way to go up quick, especially by 2 goals in the first half, now the rest of the way through is just how well our defense can continue adapting to Ball State. But for the Cards, you know, this is where you have to get going early. You cannot allow yourself to have 0 goals here in game number 1. We saw it against Florida. You put yourself in a position to get dominated, it's gonna happen. But how are you gonna be able to retaliate? As this one will find itself on the Akron side. 2 players in the vicinity for Akron. It's a good shot. Will just find itself in the corner.
And I mean, you look at the weird touches Akron makes. It's so textbook. They just have such complete control of most situations. And you look at the Wichita State series for Ball State. Their offense operated early and fast. So, you know, if they can't find, fast starts here against a really good Akron defense, it's already had the lights out tonight. It's 2-0. They're in a world of trouble if this continues.
Well, the big yawn, that one caught the defense slipping, and this is where you see it. Everybody there, the second man, Milo going up for it, making things awkward, almost puts it through, then a cleanup job there by Jonathan. Great instincts to be able to capitalize on the second goal. 3:20 remaining. This one's starting to work quickly in game number 1.
3:15 to go. It's Ultor back to the center field. Jonathan. They're remaining. 3:10, the clock ticking. Ball State down by 2. This first goal, how long will it take them to score?
Well, it can't be too long, and you know they know that they're playing against a very physical team, a team who is willing to go out there and put these bumps on, to put these demos. And when you start putting that into the back of your head, not feeling comfortable, that's when things start going bad for you. A great job on the boost star there to make things difficult, especially awkward here for the defense of the Cards.
2:45 left to go in regulation, and 2-0 to score, Wolfie. And, Akron is Akron. There's 3. Oh, it's bricked off the post. Rebound is good. There's 3. 2:35, and Akron 3-0.
Yeah, just shooting 75% right now is Jonathan. Beautiful pass, gets it, and almost finding his own goal. But this is where we said it. The teamwork makes the dream work, and the reality of a national championship only a couple of games away. A 3-0 start here in the first half. Akron gold trying to strike gold.
Yeah, and Akron only allowed those 2 goals in the final 9 seconds of regulation in Game 4 with Florida. How long will it take Ball State to get on the board? Because if this is a similar story, is it time to start talking about the narrative that this Akron team might have put on the best defensive performance in this tournament it's ever seen?
Well, to be the best, you got to play like the best, and this team is showing out those type of colors for themselves. And we know what this program has. We said it. This is the Gold Squad, the Blue Varsity Scream. Can you believe that team can even do even more damage? And it's where you're saying, we get to play against them almost every day at practice. All that gets to rub off on us. We know the type of speed, but Yang says quit yapping because Ball State found their first goal.
And there's one. There starts some momentum for Ball State. Finally. No shutout like Florida. 1:57 to go. Only took them 3:03 to get on the board, and there's 1. There's his start the offense needs.
Well, we said you can't get shut out, and they just did that. They didn't wait till that last couple seconds to find that goal. They got it done early. Now that puts you into a position where you can try to build from this. You have to find ways to continue blowing up that balloon before it pops, and when it does, hopefully it pops in your momentum. But a good cutaway there from Mila cannot allow too much as Jags makes things awkward, keeping it to the corner for the Zips, and coming through the corner, cuts it down by one. Ball State are balling out here.
There's two. There's a 2-0 run. 137. Plenty of time for one more.
Oh, this is where you're kind of saying, all right, we're back in this game. They got us quick, but we're getting them back. And with familiarity in game one, they're usually where you're trying to test teams. But both these two teams have said, we've studied for you all. We know how this exam looks, and we're going to try to ace it. As Fields down low, puts it through, and we're all knotted up.
And there's a Ball State 3-0 run. We're back to level again, and this is the type of performance you expect in a national championship game. Minute 28 to go. Both teams on a 3-0 run.
You go down 3-0, all everyone thinks about is, all right, we'll look at the next series, we'll look at the next game, maybe game 2 will come back alive. But they said, no, the next half. They've scored 3 unanswered goals right now in such a great way. Ball State, they seem comfortable. They were deer in the headlights early, but it seems that they settled down and they're back in this one.
1:11 left to go. Emilio on the mark. Taken away by Phoebes. It's Jonathan. Will recollect for Akron. 1:03 left to go. Now Ball State and Akron all equal at 1, or all equal at 3 here in game 1 again. A 1-0 lead in the line, Wolfie, and these two teams are delivering on the biggest stage.
They are, and a great shot here late, but the defense is stopping them at a great avail. They've been getting boost starved so far. Ball State's done a great job of managing that boost towards his back half, but this is where when you start seeing Akron get themselves right back into some big momentum plays, they start getting dangerous. His team never looks out when they look down, and they're trying to climb themselves right back up here.
30 seconds left to go. It's Akron now with the right wall. Will feed Emilio into the back corner. Otor will recollect. There's 20 seconds remaining, and overtime starting to loom. Wolfie talked about that one overtime the Ball State was going to win. It might be here and now in game 1.
Well, it has to come out at any point. You don't want to allow yourself to work this hard and not get the fruits of your labor. And in this terms, a win right here, but from the heavens comes down Akron gold.
6 seconds left to go, and it's another late stunning goal for Akron with 6 this time, unlike 7 against Florida. And now Akron back in front. They get 1 goal late. Can the defense hang on for 6 seconds?
6, 7, I don't know how many seconds we have left, but for something Jonathan tried to put in the 5th goal, but that will not see it. That could have been the nail in the coffin, as this will see itself down. Akron gold take game number 1 of the best of 7 series.
And I wasn't even trying to pick up on that joke, but I'm glad you did. I didn't even. That was unintentional. Talk about 6 and 7. I didn't mean to do it, but I guess the joke was picked up on. I was just reading off of what had happened. But game 1 goes to Akron, 4-3 the final, with 12 shots to just 4. Utter domination, but Ball State get 3 of 4, 75% team effort, which is a stunning statistic in a game 1 where they did lose still.
My only thing when I see teams that have high saves is, can you be able to have that type of defensive play throughout the entire series? What a job here for Ball State to be able to come in for 6 saves. But right now, this is where you're saying, hey, you did a good job of coming back down 3-0. But this time, finish the job, or at the very least, make things more manageable.
Game 2, number 1 goes to Akron. Now 3 games away from a 4th straight national title. Can Ball State equal us all up at 1?
Well, and I like the pressure there. They saw Jonathan with a cleaner look, so just jump right off the path, try to see himself get a big goal, start things off, and Oxy comes in. Oxy cleans things up, and that's going to go for the first goal for Akron.
And Oxy just, when these games start, he is really physical at the first minute or so of the game. He tries to get up, in the dirty parts of the defense and cause problems defensively for his teammates to be able to score, and he does just that there. Picks up on a clean ball down low. It's 1-0, 15 seconds in.
That was a close one, just to be come right back off the kickoff to get your own type of goal. But heck of a job here from Akron to be able to hold on firmly. For Ball State, can you be able to match goal for goal, firework or firework, punch a punch? It's going to go the entire length of the field, but you have to find a way to just make things easy on yourself. As Oxy, good cutaway, will allow this just to loft towards midfield, as the back line will not be too scratched there, as Akron working through the offense.
4:15 to go as Jonathan back to it. Game 2, a hot 1-0 start for Akron. We saw Ball State overcome a 3-0 deficit in Game 1. Can they overcome another deficit here?
I believe so, but you don't want to put yourself where you're having to come back for such a deficit. 3 is tough, but at least you can score 3 unanswered. That's where that positivity of the mindset has to come in here for Ball State, but it's where you're kind of trying to tell yourself, hey boys, if we can do 3 unanswered, let's not wait till we go down 3-0. How about we go out and set the precedent? Let's set the tone right now.
Minute 20 off the clock here in Game 2. Yags in trouble. Milio open target. Bees will respawn in time. About a second in time to make that save come through for the defense. Minute 30 off the mark. And, Akron, though, the offense still dealing well offensively. But now Ball State got to find their rhythm offensively. That double just wide left, no good. Oxy will take control again for Akron.
Well, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than better, but a little mix of both right there as a potential shot coming through. The only negative was a demo that brought him back, and that would have been and should have been an easy goal here for the boys in gold, but they're going to have to look for it again. A beautiful flick. Jonathan getting it, but it's put back attempt. Will go. Yag, bang.
3 minutes to go, and we're tied again. Ball State find 1. That save from Jonathan not good enough to keep it out for too long, and we're back to level again, 1-1.
Oh, I hope you have a balancing beam here, because he right now is staying sturdy, staying on top, and the way that Akron's been playing right now, Ball State has been able to match them tit for tat. And for Ball State, you get a goal here, take a lead, make Akron start feeling some of this pressure in the national championship game. Let them sweat. We know we have the experience, but they don't know if they can finish it out if things start getting heavy. Ball State right now trying to put the weights on them.
Ball State had an Elite 8 half a year ago in the spring, and now their largest, their furthest run they've ever had now in the national championship game for the Cardinals, and a chance to make history knocking off 3-time defending champions Akron. So this is a stellar run for the Cardinal program, and they've got a close series here and a chance to send us to Game 3 in a swing game.
Well, Nation, when you're called Ball State, you got to be able to ball out against the best of them, and this is where they're saying the rock's in our hands. We can kind of control our own destiny with 2 minutes remaining here in this one, but take this lead. Don't wait till OT. Get it in regulation. Allow Akron to start feeling, like we mentioned earlier, the lights. They can get bright, they can get blinding, but you have to find a way to put the shaders on, as Yags will be able to fight on through, working with the ball, but not much boot to go. We'll get a flick, and the chance will come, but cut away quickly.
Minute 40 left to go. It's Oxy into the right corner here, and Ball State Akron still equal, 106 remaining. And again, we saw Akron with that late go-ahead in Game 1. Do we see another situation here where Akron's offense seems to always find a way to put one through with not a lot of clock left here?
Well, and this is kind of where Akron knows how to do a lot with the little, and that's kind of where you look at a good team and say, all right, their experience is starting to come out. Their creativity and their Rocket League IQ is setting them apart. But for Ball State, the pressure, the amount of boost that they've been able to have, is it too much? You've seen Akron start slowing things down, but they're not completely out of this ball game. They're just having a difficult time really keeping up pressure. Is a good shot. We'll put it right back for a second attempt, putting it for mid for a teammate, but Akron defender there to ward it away.
1 minute remaining. 50 seconds left to go here. Akron's offense, a chance there, no good. Demo straight Otor and Milio. They'll trade their lives out for a quick 2-on-2. Phoebe's gonna fire as Jonathan breaks pressure. Otor left alive, 40 to go.
I don't really think he saw Jonathan in the net there. What a job being able to come out and spook him. But for Akron, time's a ticking. Do you want to allow OT? The prediction was that Ball State gets one in OT. Will it be now? It will be a great place to do so, as Otor getting bumped out of his mind. Yags wins the 50, but won't win it any longer, as it will just go back for a 50-50 ball on the side of Akron.
Jonathan taking his time, 10 to go. Overtime looming again. We'll see if Akron can put away one late here as the offense going to stay on the field for now. 2 to go, down low in front, no one hole. Emilio taking his time. It's Jonathan. There we get overtime.
Well, here it is. Are the predictions going to come true, or is Akron going to say that has to wait later? Jonathan needs to catch up. We'll get full boost as the offense here for Akron. The kickoff game has been one of their best so far as they're looking to continue on possession but won't be able to do so.
15 seconds into the extra period. Jonathan back to it almost around Oltor there. Oxy with nothing has to fall back as Oltor and company trying to attack the Akron box here as Yags in the midfield is cut away by a defender. 30 seconds in, we play on.
And a great job watching the back there for Oltor, just doing a good job reading, saying no double taps tonight. As this one flicked right back for a teammate. I don't know what happened there for Ball State, but they get out of one as this one too fast for Oltor to grab. Would have been a great shot on net if he was able to get in contact.
Emilio. Back has Emilio still there on the ball. 27 boosts to use. Flip reset. So I believe Emilio also played in the Puerto Rico national team back in the FIFA E qualifiers. So I think we've got a national player for the Puerto Rico national team here competing for Akron.
There you go. You're starting to see the skill of everyone here. We said it. The college Rocket League scene is starting to really turn up here over the last couple of years of talent from all over the nation, all over the world, starting to cultivate itself as this one has a chance, won't get farther as the pinch will just be warded away. Akron right now in a dangerous position, the most vulnerable they've seen all series long. Jonathan will put it in the corner, but things are starting to heat up on the side of Akron.
Minute 30 on the clock in OT so far. Beeps up to Yags. Drop down. It's going to clear it away. That's over. Oltor on target. Will go. No, the save is made. And into the right corner. 106 into the extra period.
Good shot, just slightly wide there. That one, all the Ball State fans have to hold their breath. A beautiful pass from the heavens. Bottom corner. Milo, the gamer, finds himself taking it in overtime.
And Akron lead 2-0 after a minute 52 of overtime. And but Akron 2-0 after 10 minutes.
Wow, Akron. There you go. You guys went through the depths and you are able to come out. But I wouldn't say unscathed. This team, will they be able to hold this up? Ball State reading up right away. They liked what they saw in that last game. They want to get right back to it. So we'll go to the 10th anniversary stage here. But for Akron, they looked vulnerable in OT until it didn't.
Server goes down for maintenance. Love that. To get a new server up momentarily as we go back to Cam's Wolfie and 2-0 after 2 games. I mean, early thoughts?
What more of a great series than what we can ask for? And I think the server just couldn't handle it. They said, this is too intense. We do not want to be playing on this anymore because we can't handle it. But us fans, us in the booth, we can handle it. The servers might, but this is where we're ready for it, nation. I think for Ball State, you just can't get demoralized. You played a heck of a game of Rocket League not to get a win. It's tough on the mental, but where you have to say we knew winning a game against this Akron team was going to be hard, and lo and behold, that's exactly what's happening.
Absolutely. Game number 3 loading up here as Akron leads 2-0 after about 11 minutes and 52 seconds of game time. But now, it's Akron. It's hard to pull off comebacks in this situation and against a really good team. And Ball State's good enough to pull this comeback off, sure. But Akron is Akron. They've won 3 straight national titles. They've never dropped the game in tournament history since they joined the league in season 4. So someone has to beat them eventually. Is it Ball State? Can they get the job done? Is 2-0 too big of a hole? I don't think so. But it's a tall order, and Ball State's going to have their hands full here.
2-0 is not a problem for Ball State. 3-0, that is a problem. That right there is a recipe for disaster because now you have to reverse sweep the 3-time defending national champions in Akron. That's not easy. That's hard, and that's impossible almost. Improbable? No, but it's one where I'm looking for Ball State. You want to be able to make your life easy. It's this series. Akron, this is where you need to be able to say we're going to have our most dominant game, and it has to be in game number 3.
Got to be here now. Game number 3. If Ball State drop this one, it's more than likely over. This is a must-win.
Yeah, and they have to take it one possession at a time for Ball State. Slow the game down. Try to get demos where you can, like the way Akron's been able to, but more importantly, continue winning the boost management game. You've done a great job of keeping this team at under 50% for the most part throughout this series, and that's kind of been the difference in not allowing their offense to really see big ups. But, you know, for Ball State, you need to start off with the first goal at the very least.
4:39 to go. Shot there, no good from Oltor. Play will continue on, and Ball State's offense operating early, but nothing there good so far.
Well, this is the type of look you want them to have. You want them to be able to show high-octane offense here early on to really push the pressure onto Akron. Akron has to play at your pace here, but at the very least, for Akron, they don't mind this. They say if it's going to be a fast back-and-forth game, we feel that plays into our hands a bit better.
4:11 left to go. Emilio in the corner, taken back by Fees, broken up, and Ball State back with control. Otor open target, unless Oxy's there to the corner. It doesn't go.
Man, that guy is just so good. Oxy so far has just been cleaning up the messes, has been getting his hands dirty. He's been aggressive. He's been one of the main distributors here so far, and I think his off-ball presence is exactly what this team needs. They have Jonathan, who does so good with the rock in his hand. They find ways to get things going. They have Milo, who's been able to come up when they needed to, and then that man Oxy, who just does all the work off-ball.
Yeah, and again, Oxy's one of those players who just, he does the dirty work at the beginning of these games and applies a lot of pressure off the ball, and makes playing defense against Akron all that much harder, because you don't only have to deal with the offensive pressure this team already brings to you. You got to deal with Oxy being an absolute nuisance off the ball.
And it's one where it's controlled nuisance. It's almost like a comp play style where you see him kind of take his shots when he needs to, but does such a great job of recovering and putting himself in a position to help his teammates out. That's what's been making him so special and so valuable to this team. But, for Akron, that value has to come from all three players here, especially when you're trying to go 3-0 and put yourself in the driver's seat for the rest of the way through. 2-0 is nice, but a best of 7, that doesn't always pay the bills. You need this one.
Yeah, 2:49 left to go. Game 3 now, and Akron again. They've got control, obviously up by 2, but if this goes their way, I mean, what do you do if you're Ball State? Where do you start to think the reverse sweep can be built off of?
When you go up 2-0, that has to be it. There is no other thought besides that. One goal is not enough. Akron's going to be able to tie things up, make them be able to get 2 unanswered, make them be able to play their best on the offensive side. We've seen it defensively. I still feel for Akron, they haven't showed us everything they have on the offense. It's when you start seeing them get desperate is where I feel Ball State is going to start really playing at their optimal.
Ball State to the corner, broken up. It's Jonathan. 2-minute warning. In game 3, still tied 0-0. As again, an Akron goal feels like a killing shot here, Wolfie, in game 3 if it does end 1-0. But any Akron goal hurts, obviously. But Ball State, they're doing a stellar job defensively. They're holding Akron to nothing early in these first 3 minutes, but it's going to give the defense a chance to hold on and the offense an opportunity to score 1 goal and it be enough to win.
Well, and unfortunately, they had a good pass there. Milo just was not able to come around with it. It's going to allow Akron to continue working onto the Ball State side, but I like that Ball State's starting to get some more effective pressure on the side of Akron. What a chance there. Teammates saving that. That potentially had a goal written all over for Ball State.
Minute 23 left to go. As Akron Ball State still tied at 0. 80 seconds left on the clock here, Wolfie. And game 3 is the closest game I think we've had all day.
Yeah, it's what's going to be. This is where Ball State is backs against the wall. They know a loss here, and now you have to try to get a reverse sweep. That's not easy, but what is easy is a 1-2 punch. Akron with 63 seconds remaining. Find Milo in a perfect position to capitalize.
1-0, 1:03 to go. And Akron a minute and 3 seconds away from a 3-0 series lead. Now Ball State a minute to tie us up at 1. They've tied us up a couple times, so I wouldn't put it beyond this offense to go down the field and work for 1. But, you got to be disciplined defensively the rest of the way, Wolfie.
Yeah, and it's where the discipline comes through. And for Ball State, you have to just say, hey, we have 45 seconds to really see this ourselves. We have to, not get desperate, but get a little more calculated, get a little bit more risky. You have to throw a kitchen sink at them because the next 5 minutes that you're going to have, it's going to be a big stress test.
Absolutely. And Akron and Ball State again competing in the first ever national title game, representing the same conference from both programs with 30 seconds here. I mean, game 3, and you talk about a lot. this Akron team and how good they are at the CCS championships. It's 2-0, and I'm not going to say it yet, although I want to. There's a line that's all about Akron here if they do win it, but it really is becoming death, taxes, and Akron on Sundays.
And that's what Akron wants. They want, anytime you line up against them, just that name holds so much weight, and that's due to all the hard work these players have been able to do. But a 2-goal lead, final 13 seconds. This seems all the way done. Akron Gold, one game away from taking a four-peat in the CCS National Championship game. Ball State now at now or never.
And it's a testament. You come into these tournaments and you say, okay, the competition gets harder every season. I try to bring in the best teams I can, and no one can stop these guys. At what point does this dynasty cement as one of the greatest dynasties we've ever seen?
Yeah, probably at the end of it. And I feel when we look at CCS and how long it's been going, these guys have been able to cultivate and just be able to be the main crop here in terms of talent. They are the cream of the corn, and for Akron Gold, you see them taking their time, understanding for Ball State, this is one of those moments where this team has to come out here and play the best they've ever have.
And now the Ball State reverse sweep attempt, it starts with discipline on defense. It starts with this offense operating at a high enough level that you're going to cut off Akron of scoring 1 or 2 goals a game. It's all you can really afford to give them. You can't give them much more than Akron really won, because they've been beating you with 2 goals. So your offense has to be able to score at least 2 to 3 goals a game and hold Akron at 1 singular goal, and that's discipline defensively. So if their defense can't be disciplined, they can't make smart decisions on the defensive side of this series, this is ball game. But if their defense can lock back in and play a really stellar effort like we saw against the Shockers or Wichita State, this is a completely new series. But if their offense can't operate at a high enough level, this is just, it's ball game. There's no other way to put it.
Well, like the chat mentioned, Nation, do you believe in miracles? But a miracle's going to happen. First goal come in. No, it won't alter. The very last second, we'll be able to ward it away. Akron will be denied, but they're going to continue chipping off.
And I believe in miracles, but, I've only ever seen a reverse sweep happen in this tournament twice, Wolfie. And, Akron is one of those 2 teams that did it. And especially in a national title game, it's hard to do, especially with how much is that on the line right now for these 2 teams. And, experience is one thing, but this Ball State roster is one hell of a roster. Don't get me wrong, but again, Akron is Akron, and they're unbeatable.
And that they are. What are they? 22 games in a row in their tournament lives unbeaten. So that's a record into itself. And with a team that has so much to live up for, they have just says we are the standard, we're the expectation, and we are Akron. We are the Zips. We're trying to zip ourselves here to the CCS Championship, 344. Still looking for that first goal. Not much to go there. Fees will able to ward it away as this one it's a back touch for a teammate here for Akron.
Won 22 straight series. This will be 23 if they win it here and reclaim a 4th national championship in CCS. As Oxy and crew, a minute 30 gone, and Ball State's going to get their offense going here soon. Will be the defense, though, cannot let Akron score. At this point, you need a shutout to get some at least positive morale going into Game 5. If you can force a shutout, you got to feel pretty good about your defense going to the next game.
Oh, and it's going to have to be a shutout. You have nothing else besides that. Akron, if you give them 1 goal, they're going to take a mile. And 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 3, 3 turns into 6, and all of a sudden you see yourself down at the end of the ball game. But coming into halftime, Ball State knows they have no more time, as this one will not go. The Akron defense holding strong.
It's the Akron defense is, again, we talk time and time again about how good these 2 teams are this season, how good Akron's defense has been today on Sunday. They held off a really good Florida team to 2 goals in 9 seconds to close that series. 1951, a perfect time as Ball State almost find one here. It doesn't go, and Akron's defense just again lucks out there, but it's a testament. These 2 teams are so good, and Akron's defense has been the reason why they're going to win this national championship. If they do win today.
And, defense wins championships, Nation, and we hear that in every sport, and even in Rocky League it's starting to become the truth. But Akron had a chance there, open net potentially, 1 person left. Fees will be able to get into the mix of it, but a lot of pressure putting on here for the Cards. Have a chance. Fees on target. Yes, it will. No, yes, it will.
About a say Akron's defense is really just having everything go their way, but Phoebe's able to find that one through. Jonathan stopped that ball, and Oxy pushed it through, but Emilio nearly forced it back out, but there's one.
Wow, that one was where you kind of just said, if they got away with it, just give them the championship at this point. The Rocket League gods are all over them. But, you know, Akron, you find yourself now with a deficit here in the national championship game. We gave Ball State at least one. You gave them 2 games, Nation. They're trying to at least make that prediction a little bit more flavorful. But this is where Akron not wanting that to happen. Let's see if they can score here in 133.
Yeah, I think I said Akron in 7, though, when we did our predictions on live air. But I know in the green room I said Akron in 6. But a minute 20 left to go here. Ball State looking likely to hang on. We'll see if their defense can hold Akron off, as Akron has scored a couple of late goals in this series. So you can't count that offense out in the last 70 seconds here.
Well, if you look at the last series, Ball State won every game they scored first in. So, you know, that narrative can still be true here. If they find a second, I think this will come to a close here in game number 4. But with 60 seconds remaining, can Akron get it done? They have at least one more chance at it to see themselves get this goal.
48 seconds left, still more than manageable. Or Akron, the Ball State, though, you have to be disciplined. With under a minute to go, you cannot let this one slip if there's any life of a reverse sweep here.
A beautiful pass. Can they get it past him? No, they can't. That was their chance to, but it will not be able to come through. The Ball State defense will be able to hold on one more time. 30 seconds. Ball State trying to hold on to the rope.
20 seconds. Emilio out to Oxy. It's over one defender. Now Jonathan there, beaten by Old Torp. Bump there, now an open target. Old Torp buries game 4 away.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, a game 5 will happen potentially. We'll see after a kickoff, but all right, Ball State, you bought yourself one more game.
Potentially, they got 2, still 13 seconds. Don't give up a kickoff goal, and then you've got the game.
A little dramatics. Jonathan had a teammate that lofted up a bit too slowly, and that's going to be able to go back on the Akron side. Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted Rocket League, you got it here for the CCS National Championship. We're going to game number 5. We're just waiting for all the zeros to hit on the floor, and that will be it. Ball State punch their ticket to at least one more game.
3-1 goes to score. Ball State find a much-needed win. But how long can they keep the fight going?
Well, we want some more. We want some more. As this is where Akron, they have to look at this last game and just say, boys, what happened? You know, we did a great job. I don't even think they played a bad game of Rocket League. I think Ball State finally were able to capitalize on the mistakes that Akron was putting out. And there hasn't been many mistakes to really look at. But, you know, this is where we have to change for the rest of the way through. It's now or never. Maybe Ball State plays better with their back against a wall.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, going now into game 5, I mean, Ball State gets one, momentum's a factor, but in a reverse sweep attempt, you don't really see momentum shift until the middle of game 6. So, yeah, and you still have this middle ground of game 5 you got to get through, then get the good start in game 6, and then it can shift. But, you know, Akron still has 2 free opportunities to safely put the series away before they also would face elimination in game 7.
And that's also probably where Akron just never felt that urgency in that last game when they were down. They knew that they had time, and they would rather see what Ball State's game plan is than try to be too desperate where they're trying to feel that they're no longer in this series where, you know, they're leading it. But, you know, with 4:45, Akron trying to see themselves get the first goal. The team that scored first in these series have won the game, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and what would really help Ball State right now is just an absolute blowout to really open things up. If their offense can hang a lot of goals on Akron and force Akron's offense to really maybe nothing or one goal, then you kind of start to put some questioning into Akron's, you know, game plan as to what just happened if they get blown out here. So if Ball State can get a really good opening game here in a game 5 situation, they can get a blowout, then things can shift quickly. But if this is a close game, I still expect Akron to hang on. But, you know, getting those big games really kind of puts a doubt into opponent's mind. So I think if Ball State can take control of any mistake they're given, this is a ball game.
And this is where that ball game here is kind of telling for Ball State that, hey, y'all are playing at such a high level. can you be able to be consistent at this high level? We finally saw this team have their coming out party. I feel those first 3 games that they had were just those growing pains of a good team. But Akron's not making things easy as they grab the first goal with 3:39.
3.5 to go. It's Jonathan into Milio. There's the first of Game 5. Now Ball State must score to keep the season alive.
Well, in Ball State, you haven't been able to have a comeback at this game or this series. Make it now in the most important time. Find yourself equalizing, and don't take a minute, don't take 2 minutes. Take at max 20 to 30 seconds to see it. You need to give yourself time for the rest of the way through to try to take this game and not take it into OT.
Absolutely. And now, in this series, I mean, again, Akron's Akron. There's an opportunity for Ball State. A big clear from Oxy keeps Akron unscathed. 3:15 away if this lead can hold, as Ball State's offense needs to operate at a high level here.
Well, in the defense, you don't need to get a save here. We just need to put a car in the face of the offensive player there. Make it difficult for him to see, be able to read it, and we'll be able to see ourselves kind of live another day. But, Akron not able to get their shot to where they wanted it. This is going to loft midfield, has a chance, a lot of boost, but still awkward to very least. Yes, it can. Yags sees the equalizer here.
There's the equalizer, 2:46 to go, and Yag's going to find goal 1 of Game 5. The Cardinals on the board, 1-1.
It's close now. You did a great job, Ball State. You have not been able to match a goal with Akron. You just did here, but this is a big kickoff. You can't lose it quick. Akron's been so good in these positions, and you see they win possession quick, and they put quick shots on. Good job by the defense of holding on.
2:33 left to go. It's Game 5 still back into control here. Is a 1-1 game. Akron, again, one score could be the difference between a national championship or a Game 6 for Ball State. And can the Cardinals, if they win this game, do you start to feel like the likelihood of a comeback and reverse sweep is more than likely?
Oh, I would say it gives the hopium on your side a big breath of air. And I feel for Ball State to be able to win 2 games against Akron, it's a win against itself. But, you want to be able to say we're the national champions, we're the team to be able to beat this team in the first 3 years. But we need everybody back. Nobody back there. Jonathan has the easiest goal of his life here.
I mean, yeah, you get a triple, you get an very, very bad overextension. All 3 are so far up into the Akron corner. That was a freebie. You can't give up freebie goals to Akron in the national final.
No, not here, not now, not ever. And that's where they put all their chips in the middle of the table there, and unfortunately they just kind of flopped. And this is where Akron now, with the goal lead, this team knows how to hold on to lead. They know how to take things, and it seems that Ball State, they're overcommitting, they're trying too much, and Akron has been able to take advantage.
3-1, 142. Akron up by 2 in an elimination game for Ball State. Now 102 seconds, Wolfie. They need to have 51 seconds per goal to score. Can the Cardinals tie us up at 3?
And I want to give everyone at home some hope. I'm going to say yes, but it's where you're starting to see the demo games start coming for Akron at such a high level. And unfortunately here for Ball State, they need all 3 on the offensive side to be able to score against this team. And it's where it's really starting to hurt them. Almost crossbar down. A 4-1 game potentially just puts this one at night. Jonathan just trying to put the nightcap on everybody here, but Akron still having a chance. Small touches, trying to get one more goal. This will not go, as a quick little back pass ends up with a demo.
105 left to go as the Cardinals, trailing 2, entering the final 60. Need a miracle, down by 2 as Akron can start to feel it.
And this is where Akron, they're just trying to take their victory lap here. You're up 2. You have enough to hold this series on, but Ball State, it's not over till it's over. A goal here quickly could potentially put some doubt into Akron's game, where they're saying, hey, is it really over? Do we have to continue playing as hard as we can? Make them start to doubt themselves a bit. But right now they have no doubt in their mind. All they're seeing is another hardware, but Yaks, 30 seconds now. And some cinematics is getting interesting.
Well, there's one. 30 seconds.
There's one.
They got time now. Akron's got to be disciplined defensively again, or else this is going to go to overtime. So Ball State, 30 seconds to tie us up.
Let's see it, man. I want to. This team's been playing so hard in this game. I've been so impressed with the way Ball State has been able to produce chances. You just can't get to a point where we're talking about desperation. It's easy to get there when the stakes are high, but you have to look at the lights and say, you're not too bright for me. I'm going to be able to perform.
10 seconds left to go. Oxy into the corner. It's back for Jonathan. Time is ticking. Ball State out of time. It's got to be here and now. A shot ripped. It's no good. Milio able to stop it. One more chance out to Oltor. The finish is denied. And Akron Gold are CCS national champions.
Wow, what a chance. And the Akron defense holds firm. The part of the game that we said was going to win them a championship, won them a national championship. What a series here for Akron Gold as they strike gold tonight, able to clip the wings of Ball State. But Ball State, what a series. You showed that this is all MAC right now. You know that when you look across the other stage, you had a chance here against Akron Gold. Now you go into the offseason, you're going to go look at these replays, you're going to talk to your coach and say, what went wrong? I just feel they got a little too desperate in times, especially when their backs were against the wall.
Defense wins championships. Akron goes 8-1 in the day. They allowed 2 goals against Florida and not a lot against Ball State. Their defense put up a clinic tonight. That's the reason why they won. Their offense, honestly, didn't do a whole lot. But their defense kept them in games for so long and won this national championship. It is 4 times now back-to-back national champions for Akron.
Well, congratulations to Akron, but congratulations to Ball State. You made the top 2, the final 2. I understand it's tough to get here and it's tough to lose these games, but they shouldn't put their head down. Their program, heck of a job to all those leading that program, everyone involved in that program for Ball State. You guys are on the up, and it's showing from all the hard work and dedication you're putting onto the pitch. To be able to get this far shows you the type of mentality you have over there, and I would say this team's no longer a sleeper. They're one you have to look out for.
We'll see everybody back for Season 8 in the spring. And February 1st is start date for CCS Season 8. But until then, signing off for one last time from CCS Season 7, it's Nation to Wolfie. As Commissioner, congratulations to Akron Gold on a 4th straight national championship. We'll see you guys then, signing off for one last time.